Hello friends, welcome back. Now in this lecture we are going to look at problem B of question number 4 of the university question paper of December 2019 CBCS pattern. Now we can see in the previous question we have solved the orthographic. So in this question it is the engineering curve that we are going to look at. It has asked a helix of pitch 80 mm on a cylinder of 60 mm diameter. They have not said anything about the rotations and all. So let us try to understand this concept and let's move ahead. So students, this is the cylinder of diameter 60 and the height 80. So I'm trying to explain you this problem. The only data which is available with us is the helix of the pitch, which is 80 mm, and cylinder diameter. Now since they have not mentioned the revolutions that we have to consider for the helix, by default revolution will be 1. So in that case what it tries to say is, in one revolution the pitch, which is the pitch of the helix which they have mentioned, which is 80, is covered by this particular helix. Helix could be the path of the point. Let us say there is a point which is present at this particular level. As it moves along the curved surface in a spiral manner, in one revolution it covers a distance of 80 mm. Now it is very evident that in one revolution it will retain its plane, so it will come back to the same plane where it was originally placed. So that is how the distance or the maximum height of the cylinder in this case comes out to be 80 mm. That is what the logic associated with this problem. So generally we draw the cylinder in the top view, so the circle will be there in the top view and the rectangular surface will be in the front view. So let us begin with it. So as you can see students, I have drawn a circle of diameter 60 and a rectangle in its front view of height 80. Now I am dividing this circle into n number of equal parts. For this circle, being its diameter larger in size, I am dividing into 12 equal parts. You can use your protractor to divide it like this. And that is how it will be divided into 12 equal parts. Let me apply the nomenclature to this part so as to divide them into number of points. Now remember, the number of points where we have divided this circle into, you have to divide the particular cylinder or the rectangular view of the cylinder into the same number of parts. So let us start taking projections before I apply the nomenclature. I will draw these as the generators. Now we know that the generator should be light in nature. Only the center line will be visible properly and the end generators will be seen. So considering all these aspects, let me draw the lines thick and thin as per their understanding. So this is how your object will look like. I have shown the generators by a different color, very thin of course, in front and top. The only center lines are shown. Now let me apply the nomenclature quickly. So as you can see, I have divided them into number of parts. The bottom points of generators I have named by the alphabets and the topmost points I have named by the numbers. So in the top view they coincide. For example, point A coincides with point 1 and that is how the point is named as A, 1 and so on. So that is how we have got 12 points in the top and 12 points in the bottom. Let us assume that the particular point of helix starts from point 1 and it rotates in the clockwise sense. So it will one by one pass through point 2, 3, 4 and so on, or it will pass from A, then it will go on the generator 2B, then generator 3C, D4, E5 and so on to complete the generator A1. So let us assume that point at point A and let us name it point P. Like you can see, the first point I have marked at the bottommost corner, which is the bottommost circumference, that is point P. As it starts moving along the helix path, it will rise in the height, also it will progress in horizontal manner. To get the points, let us follow this procedure and divide even this particular generators into 12 equal number of parts. The only reason to divide it into 12 equal number of parts is the lower circle or the whole circle is divided into 12 equal parts, plus the revolution of the helix is only 1. If it was 2, the division would have been 24 parts, and so on. So let us quickly divide this into 12 equal parts using the angle bisector method. So as it can be seen that we have divided this generator into 12 equal parts by this method. Now from every point we have to draw the horizontal lines. So let us quickly draw the horizontal lines from every point. You can see all these lines are very thin in nature, and the reason being they are the construction lines. Now the logic is very simple, and it's of course a method. We have to match the points against each other. Now we'll consider only numbers for understanding. So at the first time when the point P was at A, it actually was on the generator 1. The next time it will be on the generator 2. So we have to match the projection, vertical projection of generator 2 with the horizontal. So next time the point P will be at this particular point. So let us copy the point. You can see the point P is copied. So next time it will be on the vertical projection of generator 3 and the horizontal projection of generator 3, and so on. We can match all the points and then number them. So let us do it quickly. So this is how we can plot the points. So at every respective generator we will get the points as per their names. Now of course we have to use the French curve to join these points in the smooth manner. The only thing that we need to understand now is, which is crucial of course, as we have considered the traversal of the point in the clockwise manner, this particular part from 1 to 7 of that particular particle will not be visible to us, and hence for this particular part the path of the particle will be hidden, whereas this particular path will be visible because the generator will be from this side when it comes to the front view, and hence from 7 to 1 will be able to see the path, but between 1 to 7 the path will be hidden. So let us use a French curve and let us quickly join these points in the smooth manner. So as we join the points, we'll get this curve. This will be in concave, then convex, again concave and convex manner. So this is how the helix is completed, right? So we have to show the another aspect of this helix, and for that we have to take the projection of this particular path at certain distance. Let us say 60. It's a random distance I am taking from here also, so 60, and up to the height same. Then I'll take a length equal to the circumference of this particular circle. So as we calculate, we'll be able to see the circumference. So as you can see, the circumference comes out to be somewhere around 188.49. So we can assume it to be 188.5 millimeter. So we will draw a line of the similar length, which is 188.5 millimeter, and we will make a rectangle out of this. So as we can see, the rectangle will have one length equal to pi d and another length equal to the height of this particular cylinder. Since it is going to be the major part, we will draw it using the H pencil, the thick one of course, and then we have to divide even this particular line of pi d into 12 equal parts, and at the same time we have to take the projections which we already have taken and we have to extend them on this particular level. So let us quickly do it. So like it was explained, we have divided even this pi d length into 12 equal parts, and then we have projected them vertically upward. So the logic is again same. The intersection between the horizontal and vertical lines of respective number will give me the points. So this is the initial point P, and accordingly we have got various points up to point P12. Now we have to connect them using a smooth curve, and I hope it is clear to you that the straight curve will be a straight line in this case. Let us quickly connect them using a straight line. If at all we try to join them using different segments, it will be seen that it's a continuous line that they are falling under, and hence This completes the problem of helix. The only thing is we have to make this line dark, and we have to draw it using H pen. So as we can see, at the end, for the annotation and nomenclature, I have given the height, the diameter, of course the pi d, and at the end you have to give the name to the curve, which is the helix. So where the problem gets completed. I hope this is clear to you, that this is the major portion which we have to do. Now if the time constraint is there, we have to reduce the number of divisions, and it can be 8 also, and in that case the division of all the parts will be 8. In that case here also it will be 8, but the nature of the curve and path of the curve will remain the same. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have liked this, please do subscribe, so that you will be able to get further upcoming videos and you will be learning again. Thank you so much.